to your left.
Oh,
In moments like this, do you think at all about kind of where you were 7 years ago, and just kind of how far you've come, not just with the titles, but also everything kind of at your fingertips right now as you sit in the middle of the league?
I mean, I think about it every now and then, but one thing that I learned, you know, post-cancer was to enjoy every moment of every day. Find the little things to be grateful for. This was a dream of mine to be at this realm, to be at this place in my life where I was considered champion and thriving in boxing. It's always been a dream of mine, but honestly, just being here and living and having a chance to see my son and my family and my loved ones every day, that means everything to me. This is just, it's material stuff, man. I mean, yeah, I love to please the fans, but my outlook on life is totally different because my life was almost taken. So the fact that I can live every day and breathe every day and be around my loved ones, see the sunshine, and you know, see my family, it's priceless. That alone is priceless.
How you doing, Danny? Right here. Directly in front of you. Congratulations on your win tonight. Are you familiar with the pedigree of Derevyanchenko? First, I'd like to ask you, what are your thoughts on Canelo versus Felder? And things don't normally go perfect or the way they should, you know, in boxing. But if Canelo does lose, you know, would you fight Demetrius Andrade to unify the titles and lose your friend?
I'm up for any fight that makes sense. Me and Boo Boo had a discussion before that we would only do it for the big bucks, and we would only do it for unification. But if it's a fight that makes sense for the near future, I can't go against it. That's like my brother, though. And we have an understanding. But if an upset happens, which it always does in boxing, you can never dictate what happens. We'll have to see for the near future. But I have no plans in fighting him. Is it something that I want to do? Absolutely not. It's not like a Peter Quillen or a Sergey Derevyanchenko where we're just associates. Like, I've known Boo Boo since I was 15, 16 years old. We came up the amateur ranks together. His father is like an uncle to me. You know, this is way more personal than anything. But we also love the sport of boxing. And we also want to do it for the sport of boxing. So we have plans on facing each other, but hopefully in the future, not the near future.
Danny.
Thank you.
Danny, over to you, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Just project your voice.
I know you and Sergey are close friends, and seeing how close the fight will be down the line, I know you're interested in Canelo.
Oh, a rematch for Sergey? Do you think that makes sense right now?
Down the line, you know.
If he was to prove himself or maybe capture a title, maybe. But that's not even my thought process right now. You know, I'm going for the bigger, better opposition. Not to say that he wasn't that, meaning the bigger fights, the marquee fights, the fights that will, you know, solidify my legacy. We're looking for those fights.
Okay, Danny, first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
And also on Kicking Cancer's ass.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
You alluded to earlier other fighters talking the talk and not really showing up and sort of walking the walk. I'm assuming there's a Charlo in that mix somewhere. If you would have had an opportunity to fight Charlo at this point, or somewhere in the near future, would that be a fight that you could get behind? I know we were talking about Boo Boo a moment ago. That's something you really don't have the motivations to fight. But if you had the opportunity to fight one of the Charlos down the line, would that be something that you could get yourself up for?
Eddie just said 90-10 split. I mean, hey, listen, if that's something that the fans want, because I've always been vocal about, you know, fighting Jamal, and this feud that we're having is being built. He's fighting Willie Monroe his next fight, so he has obligations right now. We can't say anything because that victory is not promised or assured. So he has to look good, and hopefully if he gets that victory, we can talk about that in the near future. But you know I want that fight. That's a fight that we want, and that's a fight that has been brewing for some time now. So if there's any personal fight that I want, yeah, it's that fight. But we also have a management, we also have a promotion that's going to get us the bigger and better fights that make sense for my career.
Congratulations on the victory.
Thanks, man.
Earlier, Andre said that one of the fights he wants
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's exactly why on the broadcast I said I would give him the rematch because I'm champ now, and now there's more of an reward than the risk. Whereas before, he didn't give me the rematch. You know, I wouldn't give me a rematch too if I was Golovkin, to be honest with you. But now there's almost nowhere for him to go. And from what I'm hearing, if he doesn't sign with his own, he's not going to get any of those big fights that he truly wants. But we'll see what happens. I'm in good hands right now. I'm in the best position in my career. I'm just going to let this well, and you guys are going to see what's going to happen in the near future in my career.
With Triple G, the word on the street is this possibility he's going to PBC. What do you think about that?
Triple G on PBC? Let me say that again. That sounds pretty good, right? Triple G on PBC? That'd be cool, man. I love the sport of boxing, and I'm fans of the Canelos, the Triple Gs, the Charlos. I'm fans of every guy that's in my division. I respect boxing, and I love it. So much credit, much support, whatever you want to consider it. Much love to Triple G and his endeavors or whatever he chooses to go down the line, whether it's PBC, ESPN, DAZN. Much respect to him, but right now, I think it's the Daniel Jacobs show.
Eddie, you have IBF middleweight champion right next to you. You have the WBO middleweight champion. Now you have the WBC middleweight champion. What are your thoughts now? How do you feel about that?
Well, my thoughts are is that I want to see them. I believe they're only touching the surface. I mean, Andrade won the world title last week. I would have rather he fought Billy Joe Saunders. You know, Danny won tonight in a fight that he probably won't get the credit for because not enough people know about Derevyanchenko. But I want to see him in those marquee fights. You know, Charlo is a great fight. Golovkin is a great fight. But I still go back to the Canelo fight. For me, is one that we nearly got in there. And that is a fight that I would love to see Danny Jacobs name up his lights in Vegas fighting Canelo. And I believe he can beat him as well. He has got to get past Fielding first, who's also our guy. So I can't talk too much about that. I know he's a favourite in the fight, but you know, I think at this stage in Danny's career, you know, I don't know how many fights him and Keith and Dre want, but for me, they all have to be, you know, the big marquee fights. You know, have a great rest. And one thing we've tried to do with Danny consistently is to map out his schedule. You know, he boxes in November, and he takes a little month off, and he boxes again in April, and he takes a little month off, and he boxes again in October. Everything's been promised, everything's been delivered, and now the plan again is have a couple of months off and start camp again for Cinco de Mayo. It's not about control. At the moment, the middleweight belts, DAZN seems to be the place for that division. For the welterweight division, it seems to be Showtime for that. So things change all the time, but it's not really about the belts. It's about, for me, one particular fight that I believe gives Danny, you know, and of course, the money's always important, and it is a monster payday. But it's a chance to be the absolute king of the division. And the team have always told me that the Canelo fight is one that they really, really believe they can win and really fancy.
All right, so congratulations, Danny.
Thank you.
What I kind of wanted to know is how would you grade your performance?
I'm sorry, did you speak up?
How would you grade your performance tonight? And did Sergey do anything in there that, you know, kind of surprised you? And my second question is for Eddie.
Well, let's answer one question at a time, because you asked two questions. I'm not gonna do it. So did he do anything in there to surprise me? No, he didn't. I knew his game plan was to go in there and try to slow me down with body shots, because in sparring, when you got a guy bouncing around and he's too fast, the only way to break him down is through the body. So I was expecting that. So no, he didn't do anything to surprise me. He just fought one kind of a fight and he didn't give up.
How would you grade your own performance, though?
I can't grade my performance right now. Initially, I'll probably say maybe a B+, but I got to go back to the tape and really study it to really grade myself. But that's a question I would like to ask Andre. Was what do you think about my performance? What do you grade my performance? Maybe I shouldn't ask you that right now.
Eddie, I just kind of wanted to know, since you have all the middleweight belts pretty much, did you kind of want to do like a round robin where you have undisputed champion at middleweight? You have like
Yeah, look, again, everyone's case by case. Demetrius, for me, I would like to see him have 2 quick fights to get in the groove. He's been inactive for a long time. Danny's another story. He hasn't been inactive. He's had 3 fights in 12 months. he's ready to go. So, you know, if Danny can beat Canelo, he becomes the IBF, the WBC, WBA world champion. And then, perhaps, when you talk about Andrade fight, if that's an undisputed fight, maybe the dynamics change. But right now, I don't think those guys are looking to fight each other. For Demetrius, I'd like to get him out active in the big fights, defending his title. But for Danny, I'd like to see him in the unification.